This is going to be a quick video of monitoring of operations of SeedStar XP using a 2600 or 2630 display. It'll also be similar to what you would see in an 1800 or Command Center if you're running SeedStar XP, except for the screen layout is going to be slightly different, but the application of SeedStar XP is going to be the same. As I said, we're going to do monitoring of operations in this particular video. If you don't have SeedStar XP set up as your home page, you can always access it by going into the menu, then going to your Planner tab. From here, we're going to look at this first tab in the upper right corner, which is our F tab. This is where, as I said, we're going to monitor all operations of the XP Planner from this page. We'll begin at the top left. In the top left, we have the actual target seeds per acre. If we have pre-populated several different rates in our planner on our display, you can tap the crosshairs with the acre, and each time you press it, it will change, toggle between whatever rates you have pre-populated in there. To the right of it, it's going to be your actual amount of seeds per acre. If we were planting, we'd see this rate change. It's averaging across the whole planner. If you tap the icon to the right of that 0, and you are using variable rate drives, you can see which each variable rate drive is doing independently of each other. Or you can toggle back and see what you're doing across the whole planner. In the middle of our screen is going to be our monitoring graph. We're looking at our seeds per acre at this moment. But our center line is our target population, so that's 36,000 seeds. And you'll see these bars all the way across for every row be above or below this line here. So above it means we're planting over our population, below it means we're planting under population. And it's going to vary all the way across the planner depending on row unit performance. To the right of that, you have Quick Start Reset and this gear icon. And what that is if you were to press the gear icon, it's going to allow you to rotate your seed meters. You follow the steps, it's going to turn them each meter about a half a turn. So if you had your vacuum running and you wanted to prime your seed plates, you could go right here and hit the this button and prime it a couple of times until you fill up your seed plate, instead of backing up and double planting in the area. Below here, you got 2 black arrows. If I tap it, it's going to start shutting off rows all the way across the planner. And vice versa. I can enable all. If you have swath control on this planner, it'll do that automatically for us. Just below that, in these 2 white boxes, we can pick, have an option to choose different variables to monitor here. So if I wanted to see how many acres I'm planting, and on the next one I wanted to see how many acres per hour, we could do that there. In the lower left corner, we have several icons here, and each one of these are going to allow us to monitor different aspects of the planner of SeedStar XP system. This first little box is actually for our downforce. So this is the amount of downforce we'd like to apply to each row unit depending on field conditions. We could get, if we tap that icon, we can go in and adjust on 20-pound increments, up or down. And just below that's going to be our actual downforce pressure. It'll also be displayed just over here, just to the right, underneath this weight. It'll give us our actual pressure. And we can adjust on the go by using this versus the former way of the forward manual mechanical with the T-handle, setting your weights from 75, 150, and so on. This will allow you to do in 1-pound increments from 15 to 400 pounds. So as I said, the first tab right here is our seeds per acre, and that's what we looked at in our upper graph here. Just below that, in the lower right corner, we have row scan, in which it'll show which of our rows is planting the minimum amount of seed, the least amount of seeds, which one's planting the max, and it's going to scan every row in sequence. And then if we wanted to monitor one row in particular, in this white box down here where you see the 3, say we wanted to monitor row 9, it'll show us how many seeds per acre that unit's planting as well. The next tab to the right of that is going to be seed simulation. In our graph up here, you see above the line is going to be doubles, below the line is going to be skips. The center line is going to be our target seed simulation goal. In the lower right corner, you see that we have our average seed singulation percentage, as well as our skips percentage, which row is giving us our highest amount of skips. Just below that, we have multiples percentage, and which row is giving us the highest amount of multiples as well. To the right of it, it's going to be seed spacing. You see our graph here. You see our bar graph above that for each row, and over in the lower right corner, we see good seed spacing percentage, skips percentage, which one has the highest skips, and multiples, which one has the highest multiples, which row has the highest multiples as well. In the lower left is going to be our row downforce. So this is going to be most of our planters are going to have 3 downforce sensors on our units, on 3 different units. And we can monitor our graph up here. Target line, once again, is our center line. Down in the lower right, it's going to show our load in pounds, and it's going to give us a margin. And then our low and high as well for which row and unit downforce. To the right of it, it's going to be a ride quality. This is going to be a scale graph at the top again. You'll see there'll be 3 sensors on that as well. And they'll be probably they're going to be located right where your downforce sensors are on your row units. Lower right corner, we have a minimum and a maximum, and it's going to scan each row and give us a percentage on all those, and then as well as a good ride percentage. It's usually on a scale of 100%, 100% being the best. You would monitor this particular one if you're having issues with seed singulation. And your unit's bouncing around and back there, you may need to add a little more downforce, and it'll help out with your seed singulation, seed spacing, and other variables there. To the right of it, we have our magnifying glass on a unit, and that's exactly what it does. It monitors 1 unit. So if I wanted to go in here and say I wanted to look at row 10, it tells me everything that we just looked at on all those other tabs, except it's on 1 page for just a 1 unit. We can cycle through them by hitting these arrows up here as well, and it'll just go to 11, 12, so on, and cycle all the way back around. We'll hit accept to get out of there, and then we're going to go to the magnifying glass on the planter, and it does that as well. It gives us everything we looked at for the whole planter, the minimum and maximums for each one, and it's going to give the scans for each one of these variables that we're watching, as well as being able to adjust our downforce here as well. And then we have the last little icon is these 2 arrows going in a circle, and all it does is just toggle between all of those tabs that we just looked at in order, and it cycles back around. That is basically it for the monitoring of operations of SeedStar XP using a 2600, 2630 display, and also it'll be very similar to what you would see in a 1800 or Command Center.